Welcome to Assembly Bethesda on Air, my friends. I am Hayne Fogarty, your host, and I am truly glad you are here with me today. We are about to embark on a journey, a deep dive into a theme that often sparks much thought and discussion: answered prayer and the fascinating limits of apologetics. Now, this isn't a race. Think of it more like a long, reflective walk through a quiet stone cloister, where every step invites slower, deeper thoughts. There's no rush here, just the two of us, taking our time to consider what truly happens when a heartfelt request meets a divine reply. What does that reveal? Not just about our requests, but about the very place of careful, reasoned argument in our journey of faith. It's a profound question, isn't it?
Now, let's talk about apologetics. It has truly served the church for a long time, giving believers crucial language for the questions arising from both outside and within. It powerfully shows that the gospel's claims can stand firmly in the open air of public reason. This work remains profoundly valuable. Yet there's a boundary it cannot cross, and this limit appears most clearly when prayer is answered. The answer, my friends, doesn't arrive as another premise in a logical chain. It arrives as a lived encounter, a tangible shift in the actual shape of a day or a season, something no syllogism could ever force into being. Think about the difference between describing a door and walking through one. Apologetics describes that door with meticulous care. It measures the frame, notes historical hinges, and explains why its claim to open into truth is coherent. Answered prayer, however, is the moment the door moves or yields to an impossible push, and you find yourself on the other side. The description was true, but the experience? That's of another order entirely.
Now, let me be very clear. This isn't a dismissal of the descriptive work of apologetics. Not at all. The church profoundly needs people who can speak clearly in the marketplace of ideas, and many have been significantly helped by those clear voices. The point is simply that clarity about our faith's claims is not the same as the living exchange that prayer opens. When this exchange produces an answer, something has happened that argument alone simply cannot produce. The limits become visible here, not as a failure, but as a proper understanding of scope. Consider the long season of asking, the prayer you repeat, sometimes with words, sometimes just with the sheer weight of the request. Your mind might rehearse all the reasons to keep asking, recalling God's character as presented in Scripture and defenses of faith. Those reasons support the asking, yes, but they do not compel the answer. The answer, when it comes, arrives from the other side of the conversation. It is given, my friends, not extracted by superior reasoning.
There's a particular quiet that often follows an answered prayer, isn't there? It's not the quiet of having won a debate, it's the quiet of having been truly met. In that quiet, even valuable apologetics books can be closed for a time without loss. They've done their part, and the relationship has moved forward. The Gothic sensibility perfectly understands this rhythm, the beauty of heavy stone and the sudden shaft of light across the floor. Both belong. Neither replaces the other. The danger of over-relying on defenses is that faith can feel like a position to maintain rather than a life lived with God. Positions need constant reinforcement. Life with God requires ongoing conversation. Prayer is that conversation, and answered prayer is evidence of its mutuality. Apologetics prepares us to enter it with confidence that it's not irrational, but it cannot replace the conversation itself. Think of a cathedral, its soaring vertical lines, like apologetics drawing the mind to coherence, and its deep shadows between pillars, holding mystery. Answered prayer lives in that interplay, filling the space with the knowledge that the one addressed is present and responsive.
Now, many of us as believers carry both the arguments of our faith and the precious memories of answers to prayer. The arguments are invaluable when questions inevitably return. But the memories of answers? They help when those questions threaten to consume the entire landscape of our faith. While these memories might not answer every intellectual challenge, they do something far more foundational. They confirm that our relationship with God is profoundly real. From that rock-solid confirmation, the intellectual work can continue, but without the desperation of having to prove everything from scratch every single time. Here's where the limits of apologetics become beautifully clear, especially in the face of the personal. An argument can be public, shared, and examined by many eyes, but an answered prayer? That's often a deeply private experience, known fully only to the one who asked and the one who replied. This privacy isn't a weakness, you see. It's an intrinsic part of the nature of relationship. The public defenses protect the community, yes, but the private answers sustain the individual heart. Both are absolutely needed, and neither can truly do the work of the other.
There's a temptation, isn't there, to demand that every answered prayer come with an explanation satisfying every possible objection. But that demand confuses the categories. An answer isn't required to function as a new piece of evidence in the apologetic arsenal. It is free to remain what it is, a precious gift given within the context of a particular life and a particular request. Trying to force it into the mold of public proof can distort both the gift and the vital work of defense. The Christian tradition has always held space for this critical distinction. The early communities knew the power of reasoned proclamation, but they also knew the transformative power of prayer that could move mountains in the lives of ordinary people. These two streams have always run side by side. When they are forced into a single narrow channel, something essential is invariably lost. The reasoned proclamation can become dry, losing its vitality, and prayer can become untethered from the larger anchoring story of God. Keeping them in their proper relation preserves the full, rich texture of our faith.
In the dim light of a late hour, when the world outside goes quiet, the difference is easy to feel. The arguments may still be in your mind, but the sense of having been heard is profoundly in your heart. One doesn't cancel the other. The sense of being heard simply occupies a deeper place. From there, arguments can be revisited with a different spirit, less as defense, more as grateful exploration of a truth already known in another way. Answered prayer doesn't make hard questions disappear, my friends. It places them inside a larger reality. Questions can still be difficult, but they are no longer the final word. That word belongs to the one who is shown willingness to respond. That willingness isn't proven scientifically, it's known personally by those who receive. This knowledge is personal, sitting outside purely public demonstration. Here, the limits of apologetics become a gift, not a frustration. If defenses did everything, no living relationship would be needed. The fact they cannot do everything leaves vital room for relationship to truly matter.
This room, my friends, keeps faith from collapsing into just a set of propositions affirmed without ever being lived. Answered prayer insists that faith is lived, that the conversation continues, and that God's response is an ongoing part of our story. The Gothic atmosphere of the Christian imagination truly helps here. It refuses the flat light of pure rationalism, yet also refuses the formless dark of pure subjectivism. It beautifully holds the structured beauty of our claims and the shadowed depth of our encounter. In that profound holding, answered prayer finds its proper home. It's neither the whole of faith nor a mere illustration. It is that crucial moment when the structure and the depth meet in a particular life. So, as we sit with this today, the invitation is simple. Continue the careful thinking. Continue the vital work of giving a reason for the hope that is in you. And crucially, continue the asking. When the answer comes, receive it without needing to immediately turn it into another argument. Let it do the quieter yet profound work of confirming your relationship. In that confirmation, the limits of our defenses become clear, and the greater life of faith opens a little further for you.
There is no need to choose between the two, my friends. The mind and the heart both belong to the one who prays. Apologetics tends to one, carefully building and articulating. Answered prayer tends to the other, nurturing and revealing. Intending it, answered prayer shows the whole person is invited into exchange with God. That invitation is truly the heart of the matter. Everything else, including our careful defenses, finds its place relative to it. The Church's long history is full of both public arguments and private answers. Arguments written down, passed along. Answers known in quiet rooms, carried forward in lives. Both streams continue. Our task is to keep them in right relation, neither elevating arguments over relationship nor dismissing them. When the answer arrives, it often does so without fanfare. A situation shifts, a burden lifts, a closed path shows an opening. The one who asked recognizes the reply. In that recognition, apologetics' limits stand in plain view. The reply didn't come because arguments were airtight. It came because the conversation is real. That reality is the ground on which arguments themselves ultimately rest.
We can honor our defenses without asking them to do more than they can, can't we? And we can receive the answers without needing them to function as public proofs. In the beautiful space between those two recognitions, the life of faith truly has room to breathe. The heavy stone walls stand firm. The light falls, illuminating our path. The conversation continues, always. And when that profound reply comes, your heart knows, deep down, that it has been truly met by the one who listens. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friends. As always, it is a genuine pleasure to spend this reflective time with you. God bless. And until next time, remember to carry that courage within you. If you appreciate what we do here, please head on over to www.assemblybethesda.com. Your support helps us continue these vital conversations.